Senator Dr. George Vincent.
Thank you, Brother Jerry. Good morning, everyone. It is a real pleasure to be here this morning as chairman of the National Democratic Congress. And my mission is to update you as to what has been happening, how we have been rebuilding and rebranding our party to make sure that we are competitive and we can form the next government whenever the occasion comes. But before we do that, I want to first of all indicate that our party is now celebrating its 28th anniversary, and it was started in October 18 to be precise, 1987. It was brought together by George Brizan and a number of other stalwarts, Grenadian stalwarts. The vision is building a nation that is free, a land of equal opportunity, and a land of tolerance, fair play, and prosperity. The mission is to promote peace, security, social justice, economic and human development, parliamentary democracy, and respect for the law and Constitution of Grenada. We have come out of the February 2013 election, and we have decided that the party must rebuild, and we are rebuilding from the ground up. We have worked together over the last 2.5 years to put structures in place that were not there before. We now have a functioning organization. In October of 2013, we elected a new leadership led by our capable, loved political leader, our brother Nazim Burke. The other members on the table were elected at the party convention, and we have since been working tirelessly to build structure, organization, and to rebrand the party. I want to take this opportunity to commend the New York chapter for their vibrancy, for your support and invitation to us to be here today. We are working feverishly to make sure that the party functions as an organ, as an institution that we can live for generations and generations, and not an institution for the next elections. We are really serious about this. The leadership is serious, and we really want to make sure that that happens. Meanwhile, we have a number of organs functioning. Unlike prior to, as you know, we've had some issues. We had to deal with them in an appropriate manner, and we've had some fallouts from it. But we are a united group. We are together. We meet weekly as a management team. We had convention and general council, as is expected of a functioning organization, and we are building back to make sure that we can win the next election. We have organs that you can ask about, because I was only limited to 3 minutes. I want to again thank everyone for coming and let you know that we are building back. We are building our organization to ensure that we can form the next government whenever the occasion arises. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vincent. And folks, we now have Senator Franklin Bernadine, who will present us.
Good morning, everybody. Let me start by saying it is a pleasure to be here. And it's a wonderful feeling being with Grenadians in the diaspora because we all have a common interest in what we are all trying to accomplish, in the interests of Grenada and its development. So I want to say it really gives me personally great pleasure to be here and to be amongst Grenadians here to see what we could do together for Grenada. Now, I want to mention very briefly, because I understand that there are time constraints, but I want to comment on the youth, which perhaps is an area of great concern for all of us. For obvious reasons, we have a country that is 65% young people under the age of 36, 37. And so that sizable youth population means translated into jobs, translated into opportunities, translated into what isn't happening, has to have tremendous impact on the development of Grenada. We cannot, of course, develop without addressing the issues and the needs, and our party has spent a lot of time in reflecting and reprogramming what we have set up for the young people in Grenada. I can be confident in saying that tablets and Imani are not enough to cut it at all. And it's going to take plenty more than that, and a lot more effort. And the concerns of the youth, which center a lot around unemployment, for example, and what happens to them when they come through, their training, and perhaps even more importantly, their level of training. That is not just a matter of churning young people out, and the claims that we hear today in Grenada that a particular program we've graduated 3,000 people. At what level? And how does that stand competitively within the Caribbean? We are no longer isolated islands, but what goes on in other islands is also very, very relevant, and we must be able to hold our own there. So we have a lot of concerns at that level, and of course, even business opportunities for the young people, and opening up the right channels that they could see a way to develop and could see a way to make things happen. Even things like staying out of conflict with the law. And the matters that pertain to young people are of great concern to us because they're not being addressed adequately at all. Our position on all of this is that we want them at the decision-making table, to be part of that process and to see themselves as part of that process. And this guides the whole principle of how NDC intends to proceed with respect to the youth. With respect to women's issues, of course there are a lot of issues, very fundamental issues, women's issues in Grenada. Perhaps the first and most outstanding would be the underemployment and the unemployment. In that the qualifications and the training that should go hand in hand to lift the female population to a higher level is not available at all, you know? And that is a big issue for us. We also want to bear in mind that the women are 49, 50, 51% of the workforce. And so with that big aspect underdeveloped, it means that we are nowhere approaching where we should be in terms of productivity and so on for the nation. Education for their children is also a big issue, and education generally is of great concern. Our government has put plenty emphasis on education in the past, and we certainly put our money where our mouth is in terms of the budget, 16% of the national budget in 2008. So that remains a big concern for women, because we have the book program that has been severely undermined, unfortunately, and other scholarships, opportunities to get their children ahead, and of course their training and development and so on. So with those few words, I want to just close off right here, and thank you again for the opportunity to say just a little. And I wait your questions.
And folks, we know here from Grenada's immediate former Prime Minister, I always want to say honorable. Still want to say honorable, because in Grenada we don't say like you do in the US. You don't stay with the title in Grenada as you do here. But in my heart and in my mind, he's still the Honorable Tilman Thomas. And folks, he has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, a political leader, and other members of the table, members of the New York chapter of the NDC, members of the media. Good morning to you all. It is really a pleasure for me to be a part of this session here this morning, and I really want to commend the New York chapter for organizing this activity to create a platform for us to relate to the diaspora in particular. Because we of the NDC, we recognize the importance of the diaspora.